Let's get to McDonald's this morning. They did serve up an earnings beat. EPS and revenue came in ahead of expectations. Global comps up 3.8. Let's bring in Evercore ISI analyst David Palmer, has a buy and a 350 target on the stock. David, good to see you. Comps were a bright spot, and yet the commentary was, I guess, qualitatively a little cautious. What's your take on it?
It was actually a really good earnings call. The Q&A really focused on the fact that they need to do more on value for that 50% of their business in the U.S. that is not really tapping into the digital value or their existing kind of $5-ish meals that they have. In other words, the core menu, the premium core, is those combo meals are many times over $10, and they're going to get after that. That was a very bullish comment. It certainly is going to be one that gets on everybody's mind who deals with not only McDonald's stock, but other stocks in the space, because McDonald's is really coming for the value perception that they want.
Right. We heard from Chipotle not long ago. We mentioned Dine Brands with Kramer this morning, down 8% today. Is all of this folding into a tapestry about at least the lower income cohort?
Yep. Yeah. And not only that, but you gotta win with all consumers. Right now, it looks like there's a consumer that's going to fast casual, albeit that's been slowing within the fast casual space. You're seeing remarkably strong results in casual dining. Some of those, like Chili's, have poked fun at McDonald's and the fact that their burger prices are and their combo meals can be more than the $10.99 3 for Me, which features a burger at Chili's. So McDonald's needs to firm it up on the premium core as well, and they're on the case. But also the power of national advertising in value is very is clear. The $2.99 snack wrap really has been working. They introduced that on July 10, and their comps have been up mid-single digit-ish since that time. They've locked into $2.99 for the rest of the year. So between that and some of the other marketing they have coming up in the second half, people are getting more and more excited in that system for the U.S., which is the key catalyst that they need.
How much of it is the absolute price point versus the perception of value? I ask because if you look at kind of the landscape for fast casual right now, you've got McDonald's seeing this pretty sizable turnaround here in the U.S., but Chipotle on the other side, maybe Pizza Hut on the other side. So how would you kind of characterize those companies that are standing out in this environment?
You mentioned some players like Chipotle there that they don't do advertised price points, and that would be inconsistent with the brand. So they just have to have inherent value, kind of like a Texas Roadhouse, and they have to play by their brand rules. They can do some things on their app to get those, maybe a lapsed user with a freebie here or there, but they're not going to be doing what McDonald's can do, which is a national price-pointed value program, and that can really make up for a lot of ills for McDonald's in a hurry. McDonald's overpriced during COVID. They way outpriced wages during that time period. Food costs are pretty low as a percent of sales. They had to do a lot of that to make up for labor, but they overdid it. But they can really just instantly solve that with a national price-pointed advertising, and it leverages that huge advertising scale these guys have, in addition to the digital tools. So McDonald's has a clear thing that they have to do, and they're going to probably get it done here in the second half.
So, David, given the recent price action on Shack, on Chipotle, on Yum, is QSR still where it's at?
Well, there's different types of stocks. They're in a world of inflation and a weakening dollar. Some of those global franchise names, if they can get their act together in the U.S., and as the company was saying on their on this earnings call, McDonald's, you have to be right on all areas and innovation and marketing news as well as value. The ones that have been doing the best on that are Yum Brands. McDonald's is going to be improving. QSR just needs to just show that it can survive with McDonald's and coexist with them. So far, they're doing quite well, even in July. So we like QSR, McDonald's. In terms of Chipotle and a name like that, you're probably going to look to 26 for the best performance there, because their comparisons start to really ease, and they have a lot of tools that they're going to be deploying by then. But you're probably going to have to be more patient with the fast casual zone for reacceleration.
Right. I should have been more plain. I was asking about the category QSR, not the ticker, but I run into that every now and then. Finally, do you anticipate any relief on at least beef prices in the next 12 months?
Right now you're seeing a remarkable amount of inflation, and it's bifurcated among steak versus hamburger. Hamburger is some of the worst, and McDonald's talked about they have 70% of their company stores in Europe, and their inflation for beef in Europe was a remarkable 20%. That reflects some of the global trade conditions as well. The hamburger is more traded overseas, but some of the high-end cuts, for example, in steak are not that bad. So the first thing we're going to find is that some of the steak players in casual dining are not going to be quite as hard as what we're seeing in hamburger land. But as far as the beef cycle, it's going to take 1 or 2 years for beef prices to be in relief. It's going to take a bit.
Right. Yeah. That goes deep into the cattle industry and what they're going to do with heifers and all that. David, appreciate it. McDonald's definitely helping out the Dow today. That's David Palmer joining us on MCD.